Good morning. Testing to see if everything was working yesterday. And let's see if that will get us working. I'm in the tray. It will get us in there. Yeah, something about that change. Thank you. Y'all be patient with us. We moved a whole bunch of stuff yesterday.
One, two, 1, 2. Good morning. Good morning. You want to try this?
Yeah, come on up the tray and do that for us. There's different channels, but
good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
B2 is here. Okay, good. That's good. You want to test yours, Mama?
Yeah, this one's working really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this one's working now.
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh, well, there we go.
Trey, appreciate that, man. Yeah,
Yes.
we've reached the point where we can give a message.
Trey. Yeah, Lord.
Come on, give thanks to
Yeah.
Brother Trey hitting the right frequency.
Yes.
Give us some dap on that one. Appreciate you, man. Well, we can't promise it's gonna keep going. But one thing that we do know, and we learned here at Infinity, y'all know it's all about finding the right frequency. How about that? How about the message in that? It's just that you can have all the equipment but be on the wrong frequency. I don't want to get a message right now because it's time to open service, y'all. And we got people coming in. We're happy to have you in here in the space today for IFSpeaks Sunday. And it's time for us to begin our Sunday service. Oh, what an awesome time. I'm smelling that sage at Palo Santo. Is getting me to the space of understanding. And so I invite you to just take a couple of deep breaths, a few rounds of good deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Go ahead and close your eyes. And in the space today, we have smudged it with sage and Palo Santo. So we are feeling the energy in here. We hope that you are feeling that energy at home. And just take a good deep breath of gratitude that we have made it here today, that we are here and present and aware. What an awesome moment it is to sit in the stillness for just a few breaths. As we absorb the stillness today, we breathe in, we hold it, we breathe out. And just by simply breathing, we are affirming that we are here, that we are alive, and that we are grateful. We ask that all eyes now be closed, all heads be bowed, and all hearts be open as we speak directly to Spirit. That Spirit is within us at all times, and no matter what you call that Spirit of our origin, that Spirit of our divine source, that Spirit of all creation, we speak to it now and we speak to it corporately together in love. Limitless and abundant Creator, thank you for this day here at Infinity Fellowship. Thank you for this gathering today. Thank you for those who are here in the physical space to absorb the frequency vibrations. Thank you for those who are on their way right now, who can't wait to make it here for this wonderful IFSpeaks Sunday. Thank you for those who are coming in and joining us from all over the world today. We speak that we are in alignment on frequency. We had what was considered a technical glitch today, as you know, but that was not a glitch. It was simply a reminder that we have to maintain the right frequency for solid communication. And when we pause in moments like this, we recognize that we are maintaining the right frequency by beginning our gathering by acknowledging your presence. We thank you for what you brought us through this week. We thank you for the challenging times and circumstances that we may have encountered. We thank you for the choices that you gave us to learn from the lessons that we have been taught by actively living. Yes, we are present. Yes, sometimes life gets difficult, but yet we move beyond and we take the lessons that make us stronger, better, and wiser. And so we are grateful today. We speak that something is shared in this service that will remind us of how close to us you really are, that you never leave us, that you are always around us, that you are working with us and through us as agents of change. Thank you for the gift and the ability to shine. We speak and proclaim these things and know them to be true, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Hotep. Shalom. Namaste. Ashe. All right, let us prepare ourselves for our pouring of libations. Y'all, as we pour libations today, we want to start meditating on those who came before. It's a powerful meditation. Sometimes we meditate on people who came before, we get extremely excited because we remember all the good times. Sometimes when we meditate on those who came before, we get sad a little bit in our heart. And we get sad because we remember the good times. And we miss those folks who have transitioned from the space of life to the space of life after life. And yet we recognize that when we are not in these physical bodies, we ain't gone. We're still around. And we're reunited with the divine cosmos from whence we came and began. And so we're excited as we pour this water today because it represents the living. We pour it into the earth, which is what represents these bodies that came from the earth and shall return to the earth. And we return to the earth, whether we plant ourselves in the ground when we're done with it, where we put ourselves in the fire, whatever it is, we're going back to this space. And so we complete this divine circuit together. So I invite you to start thinking in your mind and your spirit about those who have transitioned, no matter what their age, no matter what they came from, where they've been. Think about them. Because when you say, I remember you, you are saying that I am one with all creation. So as you are at home, if you want to type their names in the box, type their names. If you just want to call and whisper their names aloud, do that as well. And in this space, before we pour this water, we want to recognize the spirits of those who have transitioned, who have been brought into our space of awareness of infinity. One of the people that transitioned recently was an internationally known artist who put so many good things into the world. I invite you all to explore his music. If you have not explored the music of Ramsey Lewis, oh my goodness, you're missing out. The jazz great who came to his greatest prominence by giving young artists a chance. And one of the young artists that he gave a chance was this young, cosmic-minded drummer who just started hearing rhythms that could not be heard anywhere else. And so he said, I've just got this creativity in me. And he auditioned for him. And he said, you got to do better than that, young man. And he said, come and learn with me. And he did. And that young drummer was Maurice White, who would go on to find Earth, Wind, and Fire. So when you are excellent, you draw excellence to you. And you not only draw it to you, but you pour into it. And you support. You don't see it as a threat. You see it as an asset. And so to the great Ramsey Lewis, Ashe, we pour that energy. To another great music person who we mentioned before, whose services will be held in a couple of weeks, a memorial service. But at Nashville, y'all know, and Infinity, we got a lot of Fiskites. So if you all know the great Dr. Paul T. Kwame, has transitioned, the director of the Fifth Jubilee Singers, another person who made himself second so that others could shine. And so to keep that history alive, we pour to the energy of Brother Paul T. Kwame, Ashe. At this time, we'll go to our altar and pour the water. As we pour today, we say, cool water, freshen our spirits, Ashe. Freshen and consecrate this house for the work that we do to advance this spirit into the world, Ashe. We ask that you freshen our collective ancestors all together. As the Lakota tradition people, the Lakota people would say, Aho mitakwiasan, me and all my relations, all of our relations we pour today, Ashe. We give praise to Almighty Mother, Father God, Divine Source, and all creation, Ashe. Grant to us peace and prosperity, Ashe. We pour in the energies of the North, the direction where we start squared up being a yes for right now. That's what the North means. It means that you align yourself, that you focus yourself, that you follow that North Star that is inside, Ashe. To the energies of the South and that energy of remembrance and listening and hearing and knowing what is true from the inner voice, Ashe. To the energies of the East, where the sun rises, recognizing that today we got another shot to do it all over again. Yesterday is in the rearview mirror. It ain't nothing but a reference point. It ain't the direction we're going in, Ashe. To the energies of the West, when the day is done, the moon rises and gives us light even in the darkness. May you get light in those dark times, Ashe. To the energies of the ground below us, that space of grounding and understanding that we have to be rooted and yet we have to be flexible, because it is better to bend than it is to break, Ashe. To the skies above us, to the blank landscape where our dreams are written, and we have been given the power to see that blank landscape, to create these dreams and to bring them into manifest reality, Ashe. To the space that brings them all together, the human heart, where all our dreams live, and we are gifted with manifesting the things that we desire that are written in that heart by the Spirit of God, Ashe. And now we ask that you call a name, aloud the names of those you want to recognize in this moment. Type them in the box if you're at home. But if you're here, just go ahead and call their names aloud for these next few pours of water. And so it is. And for the children in the womb, world, and yet unborn, we proclaim it done, and so it is. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-o. All right, all right. Today's meditation, now that we have opened the way, comes to us via the great Nelson Mandela, and it is on your screen at home. And we'd invite you to absorb this lesson from Nelson Mandela. I had a wonderful opportunity to see him speak when he was released from prison. After 28 years, we drove down to Atlanta and saw him in a football stadium. He looked like a tiny speck to me, but his voice rose above the space. Nelson Mandela reminds us, live life as though nobody is watching, and express yourself as though everyone is listening. Live life as though nobody is watching, and express yourself as though everyone is listening. And so it is. Deep breath in, exhale, and a release. Oh, yes. Time for our statement of infinitude. I'm going to ask Sister Kanitha to come on up. You want to bring your mic to test to see if it's still working, and we're going to Yeah, we got our frequencies
Good
aligned.
morning.
There it is. It is. It's working wonderfully.
Good morning. We'll see how long it lasts. All right. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. As I welcome you to the Infinity Fellowship, I remind you of the 4 core principles of our gathering. We call that SNAP. The essence, SNAP is for spirituality that transcends religion and connects you to the God of your own understanding. The N is for nurturing of ourselves and others, mind, body, and spirit. The A is for action because we take action in our callings and walk in our divine purpose every day. And finally, the P is for the proof that our spiritual practices manifest fruit in our lives through the building and maintaining of healthy and prosperous families, relationships, careers, and dreams. We are grateful that you all are here as unique manifestations of our Creator, the loving, living spirit of our commonality, the divine source of all creation, perceived by many names, yet known by only one energy. This is the foundational practice of true interspirituality, where all are affirmed in love energy. I invite you all at home and in this space to stand with me and join me in the statement of infinitude. We agree that we are beings of pure, eternal spirit, birthed from the creative potential of the universe. With all the powers of the Creator inherent within us, we embrace the innate goodness of humankind and an abundant creation that provides for us through the seeds that we plant in our everyday lives. We acknowledge that who we are is housed in a temporary biological organism, and as such, it is our responsibility to take care of it, because it will only last for a precious window of time. As we nurture ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, we commit to provide like acts of nurturing for our fellow brothers and sisters of the world we live in, embracing all regardless of religious faith, skin color, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic background. All are truly welcome at Infinity. We agree and accept that various religions exist as a unique opportunity for humanity to get to know one another through meaningful conversations that seek to explore the core concepts we share in common. It is the application of ancient wisdom, scientific discovery, and spiritual practices, both physical and metaphysical, that will lead us closer together as a human family. We commit to exist now and ever as a beloved community. Let it be so according to the many ancient terms of affirmation. Amen, Amin, Hotep, Shalom,
Shalom.
Namaste,
Namaste.
Ashe.
Ashe. We invite you, since we are standing in this moment right now, we invite you to help us generate some gratitude. So we're going to do good morning to you. We're going to say good morning. Turn to somebody and say good morning. Turn to somebody else and say good morning. So we got good morning all around. If you're at the home or even by yourself, just look at the screen and say good morning, because all of that works too. What we're going to do is we're going to say good morning to you. We're going to sing this song, and then we're going to generate gratitude together. And one of the ways we generate gratitude together is we're just going to say, my name is, fill in the blank, and I'm grateful for one thing that you're grateful for. A good morning to you. A good morning to you. A good morning to you. Good morning to you. You don't need no words, you just say on this one. A da 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 da. Da 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 da. A da 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 da. A da 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 da. All right, here's the challenge. Find 2 people, 3 people that you can say that to. Introduce yourself and say one thing that you're grateful for. Let's do this.
To you. A good morning to you. Good morning to you. So good morning to everybody online. We are so glad that you are with us here, right? We love y'all. I know that this is our space. So I want you to make sure that you're typing in the thing that you are grateful for this morning. I want to know what you have some gratitude for. Hey, I'm grateful to be in this space together again. How about that part? I love y'all. Yes, good morning to you. And we say, da 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 da. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning online. Good morning. Good morning.
All right. We may be seated. Awesome. All of that good energy coming in here. You know, when you generate gratitude, it is infectious. It is infectious. Just like a bad attitude is infectious, an attitude of gratitude is infectious. So we're grateful in that space. And from that space of gratitude, we're going to give today. And this is time for our offering, where we have abundance in action. This is when we get to give and pour back into the community here. So as you are preparing your Sunday offering, as you are preparing what you're giving from home or abroad, we have several ways to give. You can give via Cash App, you can give via PayPal, and you can also give via mail. Some of you like to mail in your offerings and your tithes, and we are just excited that we give from a space of good and a space of abundance. And I want to make sure I have my phone. Awesome. Whenever I get my check in, I always instantly give. Some people instantly do that. That's a great practice. I also like to give on Sunday with everybody because it supercharges everything. When we speak it together, when we proclaim it together, we feel it in the atmosphere together. And that's the space of giving. That's the space of good. So as you are at home and you're preparing your gifts, we will put a slide up for us. And there is a scrolling option at the bottom. Y'all can't see it here, but scrolling on the bottom here. Let's see which direction. Oh, it's that direction. I can see it on my monitor. Yeah, it's going to the right. Scrolling on the bottom, we have our giving information. We are able to scroll on the bottom. We're able to put our slides up. We are able to even reach people around the world simply because we are a giving community. And isn't it awesome that we've gone from just being able to come down and do the offering baskets, which is still available here. If you want to keep track of that giving here by putting in the offering basket, you can do that. But because of the gifts of people who come to this community and receive so much spiritual food and giving back into the community, we're now able to reach people around the globe. So give everybody a round of applause. Give a round of applause at home. We're going to continue to do that. We truly know that it's a valuable space, Infinity Fellowship. We know that finding a spiritual community where you are affirmed, where you are loved, and whether you're supported is a powerful thing. So as you feel it in your heart, we have prepared us for that giving space. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Take another deep breath in. Exhale and release. Let us all rise to our feet so we can say our offertory affirmation together. And we can say it at home as well. I invite you to stand at home because you're going to send this energy as part of worship and celebration and fellowship. Let us say our offertory affirmation together. O limitless, abundant Creator, source of everything I possess, you have given me the gifts of life, breath, and creativity. You continue to provide for me without judgment or preference. And so I freely return these gifts to you with my whole heart, mind, and intention, knowing that as I give freely with both remembrance and gratitude, the circle of abundance will be unbroken. And so it is. Awesome. Let us give at this time. You can give electronically. You can sing along with us. You can maybe be seated as you feel. Everything is good. Everything is good. Everything is good. And I got it. I got it. Oh, I got it good.
Hey, yeah.
Everything is good.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
everything
I
is
said
good.
everything is good.
Everything is good.
Hey,
Everything is good, and I got it. I got it. Oh, I got it good.
Hey, everything is good. Yeah, everything is good. Yes, it is. Everything is good. Oh, everything is good, and I got it. I got it. Oh, I got it good. Come on, sing with me now. Everything is good. Yes, it is. I said, yes, it is. Everything is good. Oh, everything is good. And I got it. I got it. Oh, I got it good. Hey, everything is good. Yeah, everything is good. Yes, it is. Everything is good. Oh, everything is good. And I got it. Ooh, I got it. Oh, I got it good. Hey, remind yourself, come on, everything is good. Yes, it is. I said everything is good. I said everything is good. And I've got it. Hey, I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. I've got it good. I've got it. Hey, I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Oh, I've got it so good. I've got it. Hey, I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Oh, I've got it good. Yeah.
All right, if you got it good, give yourself a round of applause. Woo! We're happy to be here. Oh, man, I got it good. I was sitting there thinking as I was like going through everything that happened this week and all of the things that are good in the world, and you just can't help it. If you're here, if you're breathing, you definitely got it good. I had a chance to visit some people and pray with some people this week who didn't have it so good. And buddy, just to be able to stand up sometimes, that's a gift. So as you celebrate it, I guarantee you're going to draw that frequency to yourself. This is a reminder as we're getting ready to welcome our visitors that if you have a standing ovation, something that we can celebrate for you and with you, their forms are in the back. Go ahead and fill it out after the visitors welcome. So we'll take a break after the visitors welcome. You can go grab some coffee or some tea in the lobby. Make yourself at home. And we will read your standing ovation. Just bring it up and put it in the red jar here. This is the standing ovations jar. No small thing. No thing is too small to celebrate. We want to celebrate any manifestation you have. Just grab some from Sister Angie in the back and fill that out. If you're online, go ahead and type it into the box so we can read it aloud. It's really cool when we read aloud the infinite streamers manifestations because people in the space celebrate with them as well, and that's a beautiful thing. I want to say good morning again to everybody in Infinity. I'm Jeff Obafemi Carr, but I go by Rev Jeff here, and this is when we welcome our first-time visitors and say hello to them. Welcome you to the Infinity Fellowship. This is the place where people make a quantum leap from just harsh religious doctrine into the space of profound and expansive spirituality. You already were born with spirituality. You don't need to be taught a bunch of stuff. You just need to be supported in enfolding and unfolding those things that are inside of you. And that's what Infinity is about. If you are at home on the screen, we have a QR code that we invite you to scan. If you're in the space, you have a cell phone and you have not scanned it, go ahead and scan it. We will send you a gift and a love note to welcome you to the Infinity Fellowship. Even if you are an infinite streamer, we will send you the same thing. So we count us as a spiritual community that does not have walls. So we go beyond those walls. So our job is to be here for you, to pour into you, support you. And we love our visitors, our first timers. Go ahead and scan that code even if you are live or on the replay so that we can welcome you. This may be your first physical time at Infinity, but we like to let you know that we see the real you. We see who you truly are. You are not a human being who showed up to have a spiritual experience, but it's the other way around. You're a spirit navigating the human experience, just like the rest of us. So at this time, I'm going to invite, if any first-time visitors in the space, you could stand up at this time. We won't put you on the spot. We'll see if your first time are going to stand up so we can snap for you, give you some love. I see one. We just going. There we go. All right. Show you how simple it is, brother. If you're at home, type first time in the box, and everybody's going to love on you. We appreciate you taking the time to come in this space. We like to say something to you, but we don't leave you alone. We like to all say it together. So everybody's going to rise to their feet, get in groups of 3 or 4, just turn to each other. Take a look. This is how we welcome our visitors. This is also how we remind ourselves of who we are. So if you're at home, hold your hands up to the screen and feel the love. You can repeat after me. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Don't be afraid to look in somebody's eyes. I know we live in a society where people want to fight when you look in eyes. But here, that's where we see who you truly are. So repeat after me, and this is our visitor's welcome, but it's also the reminder of who each and every one of us is. I see you, but you don't hear me though. I really see the real you. I see who you are. You are a divine manifestation of God's creation. I see what you are. You are a spirit. You're more than what's on the outside. You are a gift to me and to the entire world. I see where you are. You're right here in front of me, where I can let you know, if nobody else will, that you are not alone. I'm with you, we're with you, and you are at home. I see when you are. You're in the right now, baby. You are so much more than your yesterday. I see why you are. You're here to learn, to grow, to embrace your dreams, and to celebrate your divine destiny. I know all this because I'm here to do the same thing. So we're going to help each other out. All right? I know the real you, and I see you shining today. So welcome home. Welcome to infinity. Asheo. Give a fist bump. Give a fist bump to somebody. Just give a first fist bump to somebody. Give a fist bump to somebody. I know those hugs are going out now. We're back in the real space. So grateful. We appreciate you. Take a couple of seconds to shake it out. Our children are going downstairs. And we'll prepare for the announcement space. If you love the community, go ahead and grab that QR code there off the screen, Infinite Streamers, and let's get something to you.
All right, good morning, Infinity. How y'all doing? All right, we're going to go on and read some of the gratitude we have here. I'll just let y'all just kind of navigate this one for me. Just pop one up and I'll just read it out. All right, we got Miss Toya Moore, and she is grateful for Infinity. All right, see what we got next. See, we got Tashana Lindsay. How y'all doing out there in Macon, Georgia, in GA? And they are saying, hey, y'all, grateful for Infinity Fellowship and all the tools, lessons shared that I have been able to implement in my life. Y'all just be knowing. She literally said that y'all be knowing, just knowing on everything. And we got Miss Stacy Jackson saying, good morning, everyone. And I am so ... That's all she said. I'm just going with it. All right. Okay. Yes, no, maybe. All right. Oh, and she said she having some little problems with her phone, which, hey, it happens. I have some problems with my phone too. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Saying good morning. Grateful to see the visions from the Atomic Vision Board come to fruition. That is definitely very important, extremely important. Let's see what else we got next. All right. Okay, we got Leanne. I hate to say, I don't know how to say the last name. I'll just say Leanne. Sister Leanne. My apologies for I'm not getting the last name correct, but it is what it is. All right. Good morning from Belgium. I'm grateful for a possibility to spend this Sunday evening with Infinity. Ditto. All right. And we got, I hate to say, how do you say that name? Felina Day. All right, and she says she is grateful to be on a mini vacation in the ATL shouted, and hanging out with my good friend. All right, we got Mr. Chuck, last name M. Grateful for the sunshine and the potential of the future. That's what I'm talking about. And we got Miss Christina Trotter. She says, good morning, and I am grateful for life. I am also grateful for life, too. We got Mr. Chuck M. again. Greetings from Charles and Toya, a.k.a. the Morehouse. Ha, 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 laugh out loud. Happy Sunday, IF family. Here we go. And we got Miss Kira in the house, and she is saying to everyone, Grand Rising. What a nice little sunshine emoji. You know what I'm saying? Just shining bright on everybody. I can feel I'm getting a tan right now as I'm seeing it. Should have bought my sunscreen, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what else we got next. What else we got next? Anything else? That's all we got? All right, cool. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and get straight into the announcement. So on that note, good morning, Infinity. Now, in preparation for Standing Ovation, if you are an Infinite streamer and you have a manifested achievement that you want to report as a Standing Ovation today, go ahead and type it into the chat box for us at this time. A Standing Ovation is an accomplishment you have made that we can shout out for you, and let us know what good thing you've birthed into the world by typing it in early. And I do say early. Better to get in early than late, you know what I'm saying? And you'd be surprised, when you back there, I get like a few of y'all who like put them in last minute right after we just did the Standing Ovation. Stop doing that. Stop it. Do it early. All right. Now, welcome to September, the 9th month of 2022. Now, this is the year of attainment. The definition of attainment is the action or fact of achieving a goal toward which one has worked. This is the year for the big payoff, baby. The big payoff. Revenge. Woo! Now, I got to do it. I can't like not do it. You know what I'm saying? Just so every single day, remember to speak aloud our daily mantra for the year. I live in the overflow. And what is it? Woo! I feel it right now. I feel it overflowing right now. Now, next week is Yoga Sunday, and it will, and I do say again, it will be virtual. So next week is our morning meditation Sunday service. We call it Yoga Sunday. We are launching a new feature for Yoga Sunday in the short term. We will be fully virtual on fourth Sundays, and there are reasons for this. One, Yoga Sunday has grown in size and scope, and we want to be able to maintain safe distance with the breathing space necessary for yoga. 2, we recognize that the practice of getting your body into alignment with your spirit and mind can be a daunting task. So, for a brief period of time, you'll be able to focus on growing your personal practice from the privacy of your own home or field or outside, wherever you want to go to. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do the Yoga Sunday. So remember, next week is virtual Yoga Sunday, and then we will be back in person on first Sunday, just like today. Now, it's time for our next session of new members orientation. That's right. For everyone here in person and abroad via streaming, we are excited to announce our next session of new members. Even if you joined Infinity before we began our new process of welcoming members, we invite you to take it again, because we bring you into the love vibration on steroids. And I say again, the love vibration on steroids. You know what I'm saying? Make you feel it. You know? So, new members is a 6-session journey and includes a meet and greet with Rev Jeff and Lady Kenitha, followed by 4 sessions of our introductory Ancient Wisdom class, the 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity, which will be taught by Sister Nikita Thomas. All for the very cost of free 99. Yes. And this, yeah, oh yeah, we definitely love that. Love the free 99, you know what I'm saying? And this is a way to get an exciting course that will change the way you move through the world. So please register today by scanning the QR code on the screen. Booyaka. If you are here in person, the QR code on the silver stand in the lobby. New members orientation, Ancient Wisdom class kicks off next Sunday, September 25th, and continues on Tuesday nights for 4 weeks. Register today and join Infinity for a powerful spiritual journey. And now I'm going to ask Rev Jeff and leading Lady Kenitha Carr to come back up to the microphone, because it is drum roll or snap. We can do whatever you want to do. Standing ovations. Woo! On the popping, baby.
Well, yeah.
Your bucket is filling up there.
I love it.
I love it.
Uh-oh, the bucket about to fall.
Oh, the bucket broke. Don't break the bucket.
I'm gonna fill apart.
That's a lot.
Good morning.
The paper can break a bucket.
And so, our high energy here at IF comes from our practice of snap. It's why we snap our fingers during this part of the service. We receive practical lessons and tools for our individual journeys. That's spirituality. We take fellowship with like-minded spirits every week. That's nurturing. We take what we learn and apply it in our lives. That's action. And if we do these, then every week we see examples of that progress, and that is the proof. So let us pause to enjoy a collective moment of manifestation and expansion. When your name is called, please stand as I read aloud your manifestation. When I finish each person's ovations, we will snap our fingers to celebrate, and then at the end, we're going to provide a collective standing ovation. Okay?
All right.
Yes.
So let's get it. First standing ovation we're going to bring up on the screen. I am pleased to announce that first Sunday coming up is Infinity's 8th anniversary. Y'all, can y'all believe it's been 8 years? 8 years. I just think my gospel song, they say I wouldn't make it, said I wouldn't be. We still hold on. Not only we still hold on, we're still thriving, y'all.
Yes.
What a standing ovation to be around as an institution for 8 years. And that is such a powerful thing. Listen, we are calling on it to be a homecoming. We're going to do a month of activities that we're going to be emailing out this week. We have an entire calendar planned through the rest of the year. We are returning to potluck, so plan first Sunday to bring your recipes and your food. Bring your favorite recipe. Y'all hear the snapping, because these folks here at Infinity can cook.
Potlucks.
When I tell you, it's been 2 years of a fast that I don't ever want to go on again. I don't want to fast from the food of Infinity. It's been almost 3 since we've been able to do a real potluck, so we're going to do a potluck first Sunday. We also have those of you who are going to be studying with me on how to build the traditional sweat lodge. We're going to be rebuilding our sweat lodge in the back of the property. We will be doing that. That will be a registration event, so you have to register so we know that we're going to do safety protocols now that sweating is back and we're able to do that safely. We're going to build that lodge. Our first timers we have people who've been here for a while who've never been able to do a sweat lodge with us. So we're going to be excited about that. We've got activities for the kids. We got ancient wisdom classes that are launching. We're going to be just producing so much stuff in celebration of our 8th year. So standing ovation to this community online. We are sending out the information this week so our online streamers can make plans to be here. We're inviting you to come in. We've got later in the year, women's sleepover. We got all kinds of January.
Well, next year.
Well,
Yes.
Nile year.
Yes.
According to the ancient wisdom calendar, is
Okay.
now the brothers be deep online. It's according to the Nile year, it's 6032,
Okay, no,
and technically
no,
the lunar
Lord.
calendar that we use, and it's no, I'm just messing, man. I can do that too, but we're gonna be doing that as part of what we'll do from this point, the year of infinity.
Okay.
So from October to October.
Oh, nice. Okay, we could do
Fix it. The fiscal year. The infinity
There we
fiscal
go.
year. The fiscal infinity year,
There we
spiritual
go.
year.
Yes.
There we go. So we got that. So we got some standing ovations we're going to read. And if you got a standing ovation at home, please type it in the box so we can celebrate you. Okay, our first one.
Our first one is Kavea. So this sweet baby, so make sure you let her know we're doing this. She went online and did the welcome. And so we were going through it, and it was actually a standing ovation. So make sure she knows that we're shouting her out. So our baby Kavea Stevens got all A's on her progress report. And I have a little gift for her too. I was so happy, so proud of her. Okay,
Go ahead, smart
ready?
baby.
All right, Sister Angela Bartlett Trees. She's probably downstairs with the kiddos
Yes,
for us.
with the kiddos.
So so actually this is for her youngest daughter. So Hillary turned 17 last week and passed her driver's test and is now a licensed driver. Yes. How important is that?
And parents,
Woo!
let me remind you, that is a standing
Yes.
ovation. Okay.
Daniel's
I know.
next. Daniel
When I
is
passed my
next.
driver's test, it was also
Woo.
celebration. And then I asked for the keys to the car, and there was a little,
No, yeah, the parents
We're
were
giving
like,
gratitude.
no. I know.
Right.
You still need about
Hey,
6
be
months.
blessed that you can add
driving.
to your insurance and all. That's a gift. It's a gift that they can now be on the
Yes.
insurance, and we're celebrating it. All right.
All right, Sister Denise Knowles. Yay! Okay, so her standing ovation is on last Friday, I was on a live stream show called Mornings on Main Street. This Friday, I was asked to do my very own segment. Details coming very soon.
The do-over coach.
Do-over coach is just blowing
Just doing the
up.
doggone thing in the house.
Yes.
We're doing it.
Yes. Okay. Brother Andrew. This
Brother
is
Andrew, come on, Drew. I love Andrew. He just keeps it real too. Everybody keeps
Yes.
it real. Let's stand ovation.
So his standing ovation is, I faced my fear of rejection, and I was rewarded with 4 poems published last week. More to come. Yes. Face the
push through.
fear.
You gotta push
Oh
through.
my gosh. Oh
Gotta
my
push
gosh.
through. Gotta push through.
Okay, that's it for in
That's it
person.
on- in person.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me see if I got any online. And then we're going
Yes.
to. What did I do with my jar? Okay, it must be. Oh, it's on
That's
the
right
altar.
there.
So it's
Uh-huh.
right there on the shrine. We got. I'm gonna put these with the rest that we're gonna make rain for the year. All right. So let's see if we have
Oh,
any
Dr. McGala.
incoming in. Dr. Magala's
Dr.
coming from LA
Magala.
with a standing ovation just to have you in the space today. Okay, Tony. I think we're good. Scroll down to the bottom and see.
I think so.
I think we got everybody.
And again, just a reminder, since we're out for Yoga Sunday, it'll be virtual. But then that first Sunday, so even if you're out of town and you want to come in for that first weekend for anniversary, please do. But don't forget, it is Potluck Sunday, so bring in your potluck for Sunday. All right, so now that everyone has shared, those who did share, I want you to have several seats, okay? Wherever you are in the world, all right? And the rest of us are going to stand to our feet and give a rousing standing ovation, okay? Here we go. Yes, love it. And so those are the ovations and announcements. So it is spoken, so it is. Ashe.
Ashe. Deep breath in, y'all. It's time for IFSpeaks. Exhale, let it all out. Wherever we are, as we prepare, we're going to invite us to come to the mental space. The mental space is as much heaven as a physical space that we are taught that it is, okay? That mental space, that mental vibration, that mental energy is a physical location. Whether we're talking about the pineal gland and that energy that is in what we perceive to be the third eye, whether we're talking about the prefrontal cortex and that ability to choose how we think about the world, whether we think about the right brain and the creative space married to the left brain and the space that is segregative and analytical. When we pull those spaces together, it is a superpower. It is a space of consciousness. So we invite you to come into that space right now. Take a deep breath. Exhale, let it go. Close your eyes and begin to meditate. Prepare yourself for the message today, for the lesson today, for the teaching today. As we absorb this teaching spirit, we speak that something is said or shared that will inspire someone, that will remind someone that they are on purpose and in purpose. And that this land of consciousness, this space of consciousness is very real. And as we align ourselves to this frequency of vibrational energy of love, of abundance, of prosperity, in health, in wellness, and in purpose, we give thanks that we are able to tap into this space. And we invite those around the world to come and go to this land. So it is spoken, so it is received, and so it is. Amen and Ashe. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land where I'm bound. Oh, there is wisdom in that land. There is wisdom in that land. There is wisdom in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There is wisdom in that land. There is wisdom in that land. There is wisdom in that land where I'm bound. Oh, ain't no hatred in that land. Ain't no hatred in that land. Ain't no hatred in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Ain't no hatred in that land. Ain't no hatred in that land. Ain't no hatred in that land where I'm bound. Oh, peace and joy in that land. Peace and joy in that land. There's peace and joy in that land. Where I'm bound, there's peace and joy in that land. Peace and joy in that land. Peace and joy in that land. Where I'm bound, oh, don't you wanna go to that land? Don't you wanna go to that land? Don't you wanna go to that land? Where I'm bound, don't you wanna go to that land? Don't you wanna go to that land? Don't you wanna go to that land where I'm bound? Oh, I can moan with y'all all day. Y'all gonna make me throw my tambourine. Y'all took me back to Lake Seal, Alabama, Providence Missionary Baptist Church, old wooden floors down there in a place of Alabama that if you don't know where you're going, you better not go down there. It's where my folks from. They didn't need no music. It's before you got that piano, before you got that organ, before you got that guitar coming in, before you had all of that, you had your voice. And it is that voice that got us through. It is that energy that got us through. It's that understanding that each and every one of us has a song. And when we put that voice together, it creates something that is stronger and bigger than each and every one of us. And this is the power of community. It's what gives us that energy. It's what gives us that swag. Y'all know what swag is? We call it swagger. I don't know why when you say swag, when you're a guy, you just pull up your pants. Something makes it, even if your pants don't style, I don't bust the sag, but anytime I say swag, I just, man, you got that swag. You just pull up your pants. Swag serve. But how many people know people that's got that swag? How many people here got that swag? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Everybody was some people a little slow to raise their hand on the swag. If you're at home, give a thumbs up on the chat if you got that swag. And if you don't have that swag, now, then you're going to have that swag by the time we get through today. Because you deserve to have swag. When we think about swagger, the modern urban colloquial definition of confidence. I always tell people when I walk in a room and I'm feeling as if we have to have a conversation, I don't walk in a room with my head held down. And I don't walk in a room feeling like I'm not supposed to be there. And I have to explain to somebody, because when I walk in a room, I don't care if it's because of historical context. I don't care if it's because of what people perceive I should and should not be. I have to remind them of something when I walk into a room confidently. And that is two things that I tell them. I said, number one, do not perceive my confidence to be conceit, nor my affirmation and acknowledgement to be arrogance. Because I'm not wrong. There's nothing wrong with walking in with swagger. It is the difference between walking in and feeling like you're not supposed to be there and playing small. Then you just fade off into the background. Carter G. Woodson said it best. If you teach a man that his place is at the back door, then he will go there without being told. And if there is no back door, his very nature will demand one. But when you recognize that your place is not in the back door, then when you walk into the space, when you walk into the frame, you walk with your head held high. You walk understanding that you are on a journey for greatness. And the message today is about understanding how to get to that journey of greatness, how to get to a space of walking in with good character. Turn to somebody and say, Iwa Puele. Iwa Puele. That means good character. See, in the Ifa tradition, the Yoruba tradition, there's this concept. Everything is a quest for Iwa Puele. Now, depending on the definition of Iwa P, and depending on your denomination, and yes, I say it, even in every religion, whether it's Catholicism, Christianity, whether it's Islam, whether it's even Ifa, there's always some denominations. Denominationalism independently happens because people decide they have an interpretation that's better than some other people who came before. And ain't no difference in African religions. Don't let anybody tell you. I've been in the immersive spaces. So some people will say, well, Brother Carr, my name is Baba Dad. I am here to tell you from my lineage that Iwa P is technically good character. And somebody else because my name is Ma Yosuna, and I'm here to say that it is focused character in my tradition. And so I'm here as Jeff Obafemi Carr to tell you that in this tradition that I'm teaching from today, Iwa P is good, focused character. It's all of that. Because you got to have good character to move through the world. And the simple definition of character is what? How you act when ain't nobody around. We live in a culture where we are affirmed now more publicly than we are privately. You ever encountered a person who you followed or you were fans with on social media? There was some person and you encountered them in public and they couldn't even talk to you? I've encountered people, man, the biggest personality. When I'm telling you right now, the biggest personalities right here, then in public, the shyest, smallest people that you ever encounter. You try to have a conversation and people can't connect. You try to reach people and people are either on the side of arrogance or lacking in confidence because all of the confidence has been built in this one little tiny dot. Not recognizing that good character is built on how you interact with people and who you are when people aren't looking. If we're comfortable in a space where we just have this little tiny dot, but we're uncomfortable in a space where we're interacting with other human beings, we have to ask ourselves what work is to be done to develop Iwa P, to develop good, focused character. Iwa P is developed one way. Now, regardless of the entire teachings and no matter what divination systems you use, it is developed by one simple principle. Good, focused character is developed by making consistent, right action at the crossroads. Oh, I know, right? It's developed by making consistent, right actions at the crossroads. What does this mean? Any crossroads is any time you have a decision to make in your life. Right? Do I decide to take a left? Do I decide to move from this podium right now? Good focused decisions, right? Because I trust that Daniel and Tony are going to pick me up with the middle camera. Right? So if I decide to get to get consistent and make a right entrance and go out this door, then ain't nobody at home going to see me. Because it's not a consistent decision. That is a decision. Do I step to the right or do I allow my spirit to move me to the left, knowing that I'm going to be picked up? If I can do that consistently, then not only can you see me, but the people at home can see me too. That's consistent action. At a simple crossroads like deciding, allowing my spirit to move me left and right, that's a simple crossroads. What do we do at bigger crossroads? Where do we invest our time, our talent, and our treasure? Do we decide to communicate in a relationship? Or do we decide at a crossroad moment to back down and to be small? Do we decide when there's a challenge in front of us to meet that challenge and to move into it consistently? Or do we decide to keep saying no? I love what Brother Andrew said. Do we decide to move that microphone before that stand before we cut our forearms? The little decisions at the crossroads. But I love what Standing Ovation said. I move beyond my rejection. There have been people who are extremely talented writers whose creative minds are expansive and they don't see the present, they see the future, and they have been broken by rejection. Jack London, who wrote the famous Call of the Wild and many other novels. Jack London, before Call of the Wild was published, he had a stack of rejection letters from publishers who said his work was not good enough. Now he's internationally known in passing as one of the greatest writers of the American modern era, telling the story of the Call of the Wild. But did you know that before the Call of the Wild was published, he had a stack of rejection letters that were so thick that they could constitute a phone book? Oh, for my young, there used to be a thing called a phone book. You have to look up numbers. And it's a big, thick thing, look like a dictionary. It's full of cell phones. One of my uncles just said, you stack 7 or 8 of them cell phones together, that's about as thick as a phone book used to be. But you stack that, and can you imagine a stack of rejection letters that is 4 to 5 inches thick when pressed together? How many people would have quit after the first? But when you know you are called, your consistent action was, at the cross was, keep submitting, keep writing, keep creating. Because this is going to develop good character. This is going to develop Iwa P, the ability to push through. I come from a background of drama. Character is defined as that which you're doing, which you're not looking. But there is a way to dramatically define character in the writing process. I'm going to share that with y'all today. This is a part of what I teach in Ancient Wisdom class in our Manifesting Your Purpose, one of our classes on the law of attraction. We're going to put this up today. I'm going to show you. Because from the drama space, give me a slide, Tone. From the drama space, we have something that I like to quote called the grand, divine, eternal drama. If you don't know what that is, it's life. Shakespeare said all the world's a stage and we're just actors in it. It's just a big stage. Dr. Thomas Edward Pogue, who was at Tennessee State University, is the first African-American man to get 3 degrees in communications. He started at the T. Pogue Players Guild. I'm a member of the Players Guild, got initiated into the Players Guild, got hazed into the Players Guild. I don't know how everything turns into hazing these days. Let's see, you're not gonna get in this stage without us taking you through something. And there's something to say about that, rites of passage and doing something, making those decisions at the crossroads. But Dr. Pogue was asked why he did what he does. And this is a quote that I memorized, because when you go through something, you don't forget it. So they asked Dr. Pogue, and Dr. Pogue said, I think I love and cherish all arts as equal. Only my own do I put above the rest, because in it, I find a union and culmination of all the arts. When God conceived the world, that was poetry. He formed it, that was sculpture. God varied and colored it, and that was painting. And then, crowning all, God peopled it with living beings, and that was the beginning of the grand, divine, eternal drama. It's a quote that you literally, I said, I wish I could say something like that off top. He was in an interview, he just said that off top of his head, right? But he defined this space of living in America, as living in the world, wherever you are, as drama. And we're all actors in it. And for those writers in the room, we got Sister Alicia, playwright, with Sister Kenitha, playwright, director. We got all these people in the creatives in the world. For the creatives, because we see the future, I'm gonna give you a gift about how to define character. You find a character in a play. You find a character in a miniseries. You got, every character is there. Some of us got favorite characters from all time. But how do you define character? There is a direct line between what we call character in drama and what we call character in Iwa P. But let's first look at how we define character in the dramatic space. The first thing that we got, T, the first way you define and determine character is what the writer says about the character. Y'all can just remember that, because anytime you read a script from here on out, anytime you read a book from here on out, you're going to be thinking about this. What does the writer say about the character? August Wilson has some great descriptions that he says about characters. You know, Citizen Barlow walks into the room. He is a portly, round-faced man who has all of this description. Rev Jeff walks into the room. He wears a black shirt, obviously one of his favorites. He wears some sandals that are fresh, but possibly could indicate that they are handmade and he's had them for a long time, reminiscent of the prophets of old. He wears the jeans that are halfway between skinny and slim, placing him in the modern era and yet standing in a balanced space between old and young. He smiles brightly out of a deep inner space of gratitude, looking out at the beautiful faces above him. That's just what a writer would say, because that's what the writer says about a character, right? That's what the writer says. That's the first thing, because that is a very specific description. And a writer in drama makes a very specific description. The second way that you find about how to determine a character is what the other characters say about the character. That's what you hear. If you read a novel or you read a play and a person's name comes up, Jim's name comes up, and Jim's uncle said, I always knew he wasn't going to be any good. Every time Jim comes around, he's asking me for money. Jim took my car one day and wrecked it. Jim took my bank account one day and gave it to this girl he met in high school. That's what another character is saying about the character in question. That's the second thing. The third way that you determine character in drama is what the character says about themselves. Oh, y'all gonna see this thing come together in a minute. This is drama. This is drama, what the character says about themselves. You know, I always wanted to be someone who helps somebody. When you read that line, when a character's given a monologue, some of those great monologues that you hear, to be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it's his nobler to suffer the slings and arrow of outrageous fortune. You know, you got that monologue. That's what the character says about themselves. I think not God to be confusing and kind, and yet the struggled mind. All of these things is what the character is speaking about themselves. That's how you define character in drama. If we're talking about we as a character in the real drama of real life, give me this next slide. I'm gonna ask y'all to participate because this IFSpeaks here today. What the writer says about the character. Who's the writer in this scenario, real life? Spirit. Because the writer in a play is omniscient, sees all and knows all. So what does the writer, the ultimate architect of the universe, the grand divine source, what does the source have to say about you? Will the source, will God, as you define God, Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, whatever name you put on it, if you say it's so infinite I can't put a name on it, but what if we had a chance to interview the God source, what would that God source say about you? You know, because I tell you right now, I guarantee you that a God source is absolute and infinite goodness. So if you're made in that image and likeness, would that infinite goodness say anything else about you other than you are made in my likeness and image? Why would the infinite God source of good say about you that you're evil, you're messed up, you're screwed up, you're rag, filthy, nasty, dirty? Well, where did I come from? Well, it came from me, but they don't get it from their daddy. They don't get it from their mama. Well, we get it from somewhere. So the energy of good is in us. It's just that we have been taught something otherwise. But when we are developing Iwa P, remember, what does Iwa P mean? Good, focused character. That means that we are focused on the goodness that is inside of you. That is what the writer says. That is what the universe is saying to you. That is what your ancestors are reminding you, that you are from a space of good. And though you are from a space where you are operating in a world, you recognize that another concept of Iwa P is home and marketplace. Heaven is home, earth is just a marketplace. So you ain't here to stay permanent. You in the marketplace. And just like in the marketplace, you got a whole lot of stuff going on. It's our job to learn what we can learn, get what we can learn, and then keep it moving. After service today, many people are going to go to the African Street Festival. If you want an illustration of this, you go to Hadley Park. I'm going to go by there myself because I'm celebrating that Kwame Leo Lillard, Baba Kwame Leo Lillard, Ashe. When I was 15 years old, didn't know what the African Street Festival was, read about it. When I was 3 years later, I was 18 years old, ended up on the campus of Tennessee State University. Everybody was talking about the African Street Festival. Went to it, changed my life. I never seen that much Africa in one place. I never seen so many people having fun and just out there kicking it and all kind of exotic food. Never saw anything like that. And so every single year since then, it came. And then Baba Lillard transitioned and became an ancestor. And there's no greater legacy. You talk about building character. There's no greater legacy than when an institution outlives you. When you create something, that is a legacy. That is the foundation of wealth building. We see wealth building as I left my child a 401k, or I left them a 529. No, wealth building is I left them with a legacy of understanding how to interact with people in the world. I infused with them good character. So in this space like this, in this marketplace like the festival, you see many things going. So when you go there today, you're not going to buy everything that you see. You're going to buy the things that you vibrate with. You might not buy anything. You just like to be around the spaces that support you and affirm who you are or make you appreciate other cultures. And so because of that, your spirit, your character has been enriched. So what is it then when heaven is home, earth is the marketplace? You're just here to get enriched. So that when you make your transition back to the space of life after life, your spirit is stronger. It's wiser, and you can pour into generations beyond you. That is good character. That is who we are in this space today. Number two, this is when it gets a little difficult. Because everybody else is a character too. So if I were to ask, what will the other characters say about you? What will other people say about you? Not the other people who are on that dot, but the other people who encounter you in the real world. Will they say, I felt so warm and engaged when I was on the internet, but then I met them in person and they treated me like garbage? And that happens. We live in a celebrity culture. We expect people to rise to expectations. It's not always like that. But when you withdraw from in-person experiences of interacting with people, it gives you a skewed perspective on what reality is. So we always have to be reminded of what other people would say about you. Will they say that when you say you're going to do something, you do it? When they say that will they say that they can trust their children around you? Will they say that when they're sick and when they're down, that you will show up on the doorstep? Will they say when I'm in need, you will stand up? These are the ways that we affirm character. It doesn't matter what's just in our head. What matters is what we do. That's why we teach those 4 principles: spirituality, nurturing, action, and proof. It doesn't matter just to have the first 3. You got to be able to demonstrate that you are buying into a space of spiritual growth and that you are vibrating at a level where you understand your mission here. And that at every crossroads, you are making the decision to be consistent and to manifest the good. And then if you do that, here's the reality, that third thing. What does the character say about themselves? What do you say about yourself when ain't nobody looking? That's the hardest thing. I'm not even going to tell you this stuff is easy, because it's not. That's why good character, good focused character, Iwa P, and to my Yoruba police, I know, I came through, I know the shifts. Well, technically, it's not spelled with a W. In our tradition, it's P-E-L-A. You got to put the dot on top of the E, and brother, you got to make sure that you do that. It was, listen, we using English letters, so let's just throw that out the door anyway. I'd rather put a W in so you remember it. Because I always ask the question, where's the P? Where's the P? Where's the proof? You learned every single Odu in the scripture. You learned every single ritual. You've been to every crossroads. You burned every piece of name at the crossroads. You've done every kind of ritual. You've done every sense of everything. And still, what do people say about you? Can you show up on time? Can you be there on time? All of that matters nothing if you don't produce something. So when we are in this space of producing and we hear this space of what you're saying about yourself, what are you saying when ain't nobody looking? It's not when you're showing up and saying, hey, I pour into you. You're so awesome. It's not when you're showing up and because we're very good. Paul Lawrence Dunbar said it best. He said, we wear the mask that grins and lies. We put on a mask that everything is okay. We put on a mask that we are confident and we are bold and we are beautiful and we are bad. We put that on. We put that mask on. And then when we get tired of wearing that mask and we take it off around other people, we get back home and we look in the mirror and we don't like what we see. And I'm telling you this, it doesn't matter if everybody else continues to affirm who we are. It doesn't matter if we got 500 likes on a post. The question is, how do you feel about yourself when you get 0 likes? I have to do that myself. Sometimes I put a spiritual truth out, I got 0 likes, 1 like. And I said, but I said, the Spirit said it. It had to be said. Sometimes I'll do a fluffy one. Everybody, 500 likes, I like that. I'm trying to figure out the Twitter space. I'll say something fluffy. And, oh, yeah. All of my so-called progressive friends in there. Then when I point out that some of the progressive friends do the same kind of crazy stuff that other people who they blame to be conservative is, cricket. Can't get a response. Because that's consistency there in who you are and understanding who you are. Who you are. Who are you when I take away the title? I didn't want to say that. There ain't a note up here. I'm just saying. I'm saying, and at home where I'm feeling in the chat. Who are you when I take away the title? We live in a celebrity culture now, and if people will take any opportunity to get to celebrity. It's a hustle. Do anything you can. I will sell drugs if it will get me to celebrity. I will foment drama if it will get me to celebrity. I will spend my time and energy and effort tearing down what other people do just to get me to celebrity. And if that doesn't work, I will get a degree just for celebrity. If that doesn't work, I will run for public office just so I can get celebrity. I've seen that too much these days. I've worked behind the scenes in the worst spaces of politics. Well, I don't do it much anymore because it's a vibration that has shifted in the world. We ain't talking about Shirley Chisholm no more. We ain't talking about Avon Williams no more. We ain't talking about people like this. We're talking about a portal that has opened a space to say, if I can just get enough signs out, if I can just get enough people to vote, if I can just say the right things, then all of a sudden I can put myself in a space where I am elevated above other people. And I forgot that I am not a representative, which is what I am in a legislative body, but all of a sudden now I am a leader. You're not a leader when you're a representative. Your job is to represent people, even if they disagree with you. But in a celebrity culture, we have gotten to a place where we have these celebrity personalities put around, and this is the danger. Now you have a space where people can feel important because they walk into the luncheon and people stop the luncheon. Oh, we have so-and-so here. We have Representative so-and-so here. We have Senator so-and-so here. We have Commissioner so-and-so here. We say, y'all stand up. Not passed one bill that benefited poor and underserving people, not changed one policy and a structure that helped people keep their homes in downtrodden areas, not done one thing but got a title. Who are you when I take the title away? And that's not an ad hominem attack on anybody. This is spaces that I work for myself. When I take doctor off your name, when I take reverend off mine, when I take representatives and senator and bishop and apostle, when I take that off your name, who are you when nobody is looking? Because that's who you truly are. So when we get to this space of developing Iwa P, it is who we are without the titles. Who we are when we walk in a room and don't nobody know who we are. I had a conversation with a guy, just random conversation, and you all know that according to Iwa P, that same teaching, that there are no accidents in Ifa. There are no accidents in God's divine wisdom. There are no accidents in the universe. So I know that this was ordered. I was not supposed to be in this place. I ended up, and somebody came up to me and said, hey man, you know, how things going with Infinity? I said, great. Yeah, man, I was talking to this brother, man, and I was walking along with him, and he made a whole bunch of money, man. Did you know? I was like, yeah, I met, you know, this person. He said, well, yeah, but what struck me, man, was so hard is, you know, I couldn't stay around him too long. And I said, well, okay, well, what's wrong? He said, every time we went somewhere, after this brother man, his money, after we went somewhere, we'd go places and people would not talk to him. And he would go up to them and say, do you know who I am? What do you do when people don't know who you are? Can you come into a community and pick up a broom even though you got all of the letters behind your name? Can you put your hands in the dirt and help build an institution? Can you be a part of a legacy that is beyond you without having to get the recognition all the time? Because that's who you are. And so we want to make sure that you are in a space where you understand that good character is the most important thing for us. And the way that we pass it down to our children and the people around us is by demonstrating that we can make those correct and right choices at the crossroads. Notice I didn't say the perfect choices at the crossroads. Notice that I'm not using good in a moralistic way, because if I use it in a moralistic way, it becomes a Western paradigm as I'm good and you're not good. We don't do that here. What I say is when you are locked in on your purpose and you know why you're here and you're specifically here to do that, are you living according to that purpose? If you're doing that, that means that you are good. That means that you are focused. And that is how you develop the ultimate swagger. That's how you walk with swag. Turn to somebody, I got swag. You got swag. All God's children got swag. Y'all know that was a lie. All God's children got swag in them. We don't manifest it. I'm going to give you a new, and then I'm going to bring up a prayer. I'm not going to bring it a prayer yet. I'm going to give you a prayer in a minute because I need to leave y'all with a tool today. But I'm going to give you all a new definition for swag. Swag is an acronym that when you find yourself in aligning with divine purpose, you will use from this point forward. This is what you use, this is what you go with. And if you walk around the world like this, I guarantee you that not only will your hopes and dreams come through, not only will the spirit of your creator work through you, not only will you change people's lives, not only will you infect, effect, and affect change, but you will never, ever forget to be grateful. Swag means that I am shining with abundant gratitude. I am shining with abundant gratitude. You tell me that if you walk into a room every single day, in your mind and spirit, you say, I am shining with abundant gratitude. That's the ultimate manifestation of swag. Because even when you get down at the choices that you made on yesterday, you learn the lesson that you're not going to go to that crossroads today. So your Iwa P, your character has aligned itself so that now you are shining with abundant gratitude of recognizing even the things you perceive to be mistakes. That's what swag is. It's recognizing every single moment of gratitude. And I ask, listen, this place here, we're growing this place. I'm telling you, this place is growing, but I'm giving out tools. I'm giving out tools. Every single day, somebody said, well, how should I pray? What should I say? How should I do? There are certain rituals. I let go of the traditional religion, but I need some ritual here. This is a ritual. Sunday is a ritual. It renews, it refills, it gives you community. That's why it's important. It's important to show up. This place on First Sunday especially, we come back here for homecoming, we want this standing room only. We want everybody in the parking lot watching on the TV. and eating food and just gathering together and remembering why community exists, because we ain't going nowhere. 8 years is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. And I say it because we judge with gratitude. We judge it based on the proof. We judge it based on people coming and saying, I didn't have a place and now I do. Our infinite streamers online, I love it because you talk to us during the week. You say, I didn't know I have a place. I'm here. Sister Leanne, I give you a shout out in Belgium. It's nighttime in Belgium. She's here. You know, these spaces, because this place is valuable, it's important. Individually, I'm going to give you one tool, and then I'll take any questions you got, and then we go home for today. But never, never let this place leave our hearts. When you get up every morning, there's something that came to me out of meditation, and I'm going to share it with you. You can write this down. You can take a picture of it, and you can say it along with it. Go to the next slide. Every morning when you get up in the morning, say this prayer. Say this prayer for the next 30 days. Say this prayer every single morning for the next 30 days and watch what happens. Forget that. Say this prayer for the rest of this week and see what happens to you. It's on the screen at home. You can say it. Everybody, let's say it together. As I rise, I give thanks to the spirit of my beginning. I am alive. I am breathing. I am grateful to be living as I move through this day with my purpose in my heart. I remember that a grateful end begins with a grateful start, and so it is. That vibration hit me, man. When that hit, I told Sister Kenita, I said, babe, it just came out in real time. And I was like, man, let me try to remember that. Rushed to the phone, took the text message, wrote it down. Listen, every single day, start with something. If you don't start with it, just start with that. It came to me so quick, and I was so grateful for Spirit for two things. Number one, making it clear. And number two, making it rhyme. If it had come out any other way, I would have to go over it a few times. But this is something that can rhyme. It's something we're going to share with children, with young people. Just a great thing. You imagine walking into school, you getting out of the car, your kids saying that. You walking into work, you remember that. It will correct and course correct anything that is going negative in you. You can say it at any time, but you got to understand, you don't get the grateful ending if you don't have a grateful start. Yeah. You walk through this world making these decisions every day at the crossroads, every single moment to make consistent action, then you will develop Iwa P swag. So it is spoken, so it is received, and so it is. All right, I'm taking a sip of coffee. Take a couple minutes. What questions do you have? Don't be shy. What comments do you have? Sister Kenita, you want to grab the mic if somebody's got a comment or something to add? Tony, give me the chat box and I'll do that. And I think I got a ticker that allows us to get everything else. So, Sister Keisha at home says, I'm shining with abundant energy. I see that is awesome. Sister Tashana, thumbs up to everybody. We're seeing this, and Sister Magala. We're seeing them in Keisha. We see you in there. LaKeisha, we see you. Stacy, we see you in there. We're on that energy. We're putting it up. Okay, let's go. Okay. Yes, sister.
Good morning, everyone. My question is, when we talk about what the other characters say about you, it's sometimes that's hard to navigate because yes,
True.
You know, it's you trying to navigate what's real, what somebody's projecting on you. Mm-hmm. And you know, there are people, you know, you value some people's opinions, and if they're talking like, you know, making you feel like you're not good, then it's like kind of that balance of, okay, how can I take this in? It is what you're saying true, for one, and then are you saying that to help me, or are you just trying to poo-poo on me? Like, so really just like how are you navigating like what the other characters are saying about you?
Great question. Great question. Great, because it gets tough, especially when the characters are close at home. It's close at home. You triangulate. The way you do that is you triangulate that. I was going to apologize if it comes out rough, but that's not why I'm here. It's just supposed to come out. Everybody close your eyes. At home, close your eyes. I want you to think about the 5 people that you are around the most, that you spend the most of your time with. I don't want you to judge them. I just want you to just say, hey, consistently, if I look at my day and I look at my week, these are 5 people that I'm around all the time. Okay, you can open your eyes. You got those 5 people. The adage is true. You are the sum total of the 5 people you hang around the most. Okay? You can determine whether that's good or bad. Because sometimes we hang around people who tear us down a lot. And we talk about, when we get into power versus force, David Hawkins, we get into understanding in ancient wisdom the difference between what we perceive to be love and what we know is really addictive sentimentality. See, addictive sentimentality looks like love. We're supposed to be there, so we feel that. How does this happen with these 5 people? You might have one pure person in that group of 5 who is saying negative things. What will the other 4 people say? Will the other 4 people say that you got a good attitude? Will the other 4 people say that you show up when it's time to show up? Will the kids say that they eat when it's time to eat? Will they say that my hair's been combed and I got on deodorant and I'm consistent and I was good? These are the judgments, right? And if we expand our circle beyond that, because truth be told, some of us got to redo our 5 people. I know it's hard, but we got to redo our 5 people. Because if we got if we got 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 tearing us down all the time, something's wrong. You ain't got no swag. Trey said you ain't got no swag. But that's where we have to navigate it, Misa. We have to navigate this space because, here we go. Somebody says, hey, you're consistent. You're there. Somebody will say, you're consistent. You show up for your kids' games. You're a good father. You do people tell me that. They see me at places. But there are sometimes, even within that context, where I question myself. And I say, well, maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I'm not doing enough. But that's not me tearing myself down. That's me recognizing that I could always strive to be better. And I never want to reach a place where I say, yeah, I got that on lock. But if consistently the people who are around me, whose opinions I trust, who are also in a space of good, affirm that, then I can confidently say, no, partner, I'm working on that, and I'm here. So we have to make sure that even during the difficult times when we are struggling with navigating those close and interpersonal relationships, that we look at the aggregate of the people who know us. Because I guarantee you, you're not going to be 2 different people. I guarantee you, if you're not present in a relationship, if you're not present and people can't depend on you in friendship relationship, guess what? You're not doing good work at work either. You're continually not finishing stuff. If you continually a person who's not finishing things, you're not finishing things at the job, you're not finishing things at school, you're not finishing things in art, you're not finishing anything. But if you are finishing consistently, you can then navigate to say, okay, I'm not crazy. It's not me. And now I have a way to see forward to say the aggregate of who I am balances out my character, even through the doubts, because people gonna do that. But when you embrace your swag, you recognize that your character is who it truly is by triangulating those 3 things. That's why it's more important. I'm gonna share some wisdom from Iwa P, my dad. My dad taught me when I was little. He said, son, always in life, recognize one thing. It's more important to be respected than it is to be liked. If you can be liked, it's good. You want people to like you, but you want them to build that like from a space of respect first. And there are people who I've met in life and I've met in career and I've met on projects. They may not like me and they might not like my swag, But they are going to write that check. And they're going to use Mr. when they call my name, because I respectfully underpromise and overdeliver consistently, because I know what I do well and I do it, and everything else I leave alone. I stay in my lane. But that means that there's a space of respect. And after a while, you'd be surprised. Oh, that was a great project. You gonna come over for dinner? You want to get some? Oh, okay, now you like me, because you saw the proof. So let's always continue to stay consistent in those spaces. Yes, Sister D. And I'm only giving you the mic. People can't see y'all at home, and that's great, but I want them to hear you so I can get their question out too.
So speaking of the five people that you're around the most, when you're in that space of character, where you see greatness in a person, because for me, the five people that are closest to me, if I'm out of line, I want them to pull me to the side and say, hey, now you better than that. So if that's your position and you have someone that you're sharing that with and it's just rejected, or they play the card like you're tearing them down, but you're really not. You're really not. You really love. But the constructive criticism is just, it's not accepted. Do you just walk away from that because it's not going to be good? Do you just leave it alone and say, okay, well, you want to do what you want to do, go ahead?
I'm speaking in the abstract without knowing specifics right now.
Yeah.
But and the specifics are abstract are fine by me. The thing that comes to mind immediately comes to spirit is, are you being the attraction, the model that you are attempting to steer them to? Right? So if you see them falling out of a space of love, are you acting from a space of love? If you see them doubting themselves, are you doubting yourself? Because if you are doubting yourself too, then we can't do, Baptist came out in me. You can't, we often get focused on, and this is how it goes. When we're building character's first and foremost built for ourselves. We focus on getting the splinter out of other people's eyes without getting the plank out of our own first. And I found that when we reach a space of vibration where we are operating who we're supposed to be, it's a lot easier for people to say, hey, what are you doing? I'm working on some things myself, and I love the energy that you're giving off. How can I be there? It's more effective to do it that way than it is to call people to the side and start trying to help them as well. And that's the most effective, foundational, direct way. Because you can't, no matter what you tell them, they have to live their own life. They have to define their own character. They have to make their own choices. And it hurts us sometimes because we see people going down a road. It hurts us. And those of you, if you're a parent or an auntie or a play aunt, whatever, you see your children going down roads. And you do not want them to make the mistake because you've been there. I got those knots. I got those lumps myself. And my heart goes out. But the reality is I had to learn myself. And they got to learn theirs. And the best thing you can do is by modeling how it is to exist in a love vibration, how it is to exist in a good character developed foundation. You'll find that that example that it comes to mind is when Malcolm X was talking to Elijah Muhammad, and they said, when you walk in a restaurant, a person has a dirty glass of water. You don't have to tell them that the glass is dirty. You just put a clean glass of water down next to it, and sooner or later, many times later, they recognize which glass is clean and which glass is dirty. Especially if they are on a road to try to get a clean glass. You cannot convince someone who is on a road to continue to drink out of a dirty glass that they should be, if they want to keep drinking out of the dirty glass. There's a point where you're going to die of thirst yourself. Right. And the concept of meeting people where they are is important. It's necessary. But there's only so many sips of dirty water I'm going to take with you before I start getting sick myself. And I will have some nerve to then try to say, they made me drink that dirty water. I was down there trying to meet them where they were. No, I knew. So I know. Keep drinking the clean. Let your light so shine that people will see your good works and see and give praise to God in heaven. That's part of it. Be that light. And that's how you do it. You are that light. I'm going to get one offline, and then I'll come to you, Andrew. D. Clark, creative thought scientist, said, it is so important to be grateful. That is your connection to the higher power. Please speak on why affirmations are so important. As a woman, as a man thinketh, so are they. What you say is important. If you look back to, was the first Sunday, we talked about this concept of thinking, speaking, moving through the chaos into order. Every single scripture, every single creation story that you find, every creation story that you find from Hindu culture, every concept that you get from Kemetic culture, from Yoruba culture, everything involved the same thing, speaking things into existence. Isn't that crazy that no matter what religion you say you practice or what we into, they all say the same thing, that there is a power in the word? Life and death exists in the power of the tongue. In the beginning was the word was God, with God, all of that. So affirmations are important, and you got to speak to the positive. As I rise, I give thanks to the spirit of my beginning. And look at that affirmation. I'm alive. I am breathing. I'm grateful to be living. If you're able to consciously say that prayer, do you know how many synaptic patterns are firing in your brain just for you to be able to speak language? If you've ever talked to somebody who has moved, Sister Trizana online, I send you a shout out for celebrating your stroke-versary, getting past a stroke. You talk to anybody who's had a stroke and can't form a word or a sentence. And for them to be able to say, I am alive, I am grateful, to form a sentence, do you know that is a victory? That is an affirmation of gratitude. And the more you speak it, the more you practice it, the more you manifest it, the better you get. That's the power of affirmation. Affirm yourself. When you get in that mirror, affirm yourself and remind yourself every single day of why you're here. Then it's easier to affirm other people too. That's why we generate gratitude when we start Infinity. I know y'all, when we start doing, I know it's a little uncomfortable at first. And when people first come here, it's like, this is kind of odd. I remember. I see it, I got the benefit. I see everybody's faces, right? I can see it out there sometimes. People are like, this is I never generated gratitude. Well, I guess I'm grateful for something. And then after the second person, then you see people smiling and you say, you know what? Yeah, this is good. Because, hey, guess what I got? Then at some point, you're out gratitude and gratitude. I know some of y'all have violated the principle. I know. I said, give me one thing you're grateful for. And sometimes I'm here and I was like, oh, well, they were grateful for the car. And then they went to that person. They were grateful for the kid. Then they were grateful for the new job. I don't care. It's all gratitude and affirming. And when you say something and somebody says something to you, oh, dang, that was a good one. I'm grateful for that too. Then you steal it. You take it to the next person. I'm grateful. You try to hug them, say it in their ear. I'm grateful that I got. I love it. Steal it. Stealing gratitude. Stealing gratitude. I'm just around here stealing gratitude. I'm sharing. But in order to steal gratitude, you got to first be in the room. You can't steal gratitude from outside. And gratitude like a party. You got to pay your admission first. So you got to give a little gratitude so that you can go steal everybody else. That's good. But you at least in the room and you at least paid at the door. That's how it is. What you got, Andrew?
You partially answered the question and actually refined the question for me. So, like when I said I faced my fears of rejection when I put my poems out there, I wasn't afraid about the rejection of the poems. That happens all the time. I was afraid of rejection of me because that's what I've been putting up with for years now. So people don't like you when you have swag.
That's right.
They don't like you when you have swag. And the reason they talk that trash is because they want to take it from you. And if they have to take it and throw it in the trash, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. So, the question is.
Go on and preach, Aaron. Go on and preach. Y'all hear that?
I came here today because I needed a good community.
Yes,
that's
right.
And I come here to provide, but to absorb. Or,
yes.
Like literally, I woke up this morning. I was like, "Baby, I'm gonna go and get what I need: my health, spiritual food." Because I exist in other communities that do the opposite. Mm-hmm. There's nothing I can do about it. My question is, like, for our kids and for ourselves, how do we keep ourselves, like, physically and emotionally, but even physically safe? You can't walk into the communities I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I do.
And just be like yourself. Do it anyway. Right. I mean, but if somebody comes to kick your ass, what are you going to do about it? Question answered.
Unleash a can of holy. No. I'm gonna challenge you on this, Brother Jerome. I'm gonna challenge you on this. I can't walk into those communities and be myself. You're right. Says you.
Yeah, right.
That's the word. What we speak is this: I can't go in the community. I can't go places people are intimidated. People don't want to accept me for who we are. Yes, it's self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, and we talk about last year was a year of alignment. Most people found alignment to be in a year of attainment. You found alignment by no longer accepting that you cannot be who you are, but by being who you are and trusting that you're going to attract the people who are like you. I had a conversation this week and somebody was thinking about, I want to stand up, I want to stand up at work, but so many people are just, I don't want to disturb things. I don't want to disturb things. And I said, as an example, if everybody at work is being who they are and they're like that height. I know, baby, my left knee is still rehabbing. I learned. Believe me, the pool taught me that the other day. I got in the pool and thought, oh my gosh, I don't feel any pain. About an hour after I left the pool, it's like, brother. So if you're here, I normally just get a squat, but my left leg, I'm going warrior one. But if you're here, playing small with everybody, because every time you stand up, somebody takes a shot at you. You no longer want to. But you got to stand up anyway, because see, when you stand up above, there are other people out there who are also playing low. And they look up and say, oh, there's somebody else. And they stand up. And then you say, oh my gosh, there's two people. Oh my God, hey, oh my God. I've been standing there, bent over, crouched down, holding myself. I thought I was the only one. Martin Luther King said, a man can't ride your back unless it's bent. And most of us are bending, trying to play small around people. And instead of just standing up, yes, if you have been bent for a long time, I teach yoga, I know. Sister Tamisi would tell you, if you've been bent for a long time and you've been walking around bent and you've been in a space where you've been in a space, your spine will begin to accept the bent condition as normal. You will begin to exist in a state of being bent. And let me tell you what happens when you have inverted yourself to operate from a state of being bent over and people are on your back and they are riding your shoulders. The most difficult thing to do is to stand back up. Because it's painful then. And especially when people have been putting weight on your shoulders, because when you first got down there wasn't any weight on you. But then you got stuck and there was weight on you. So each time you try, I don't want to stay down here bent. She wasn't like that last time. It's got heavier. I'm going to stay down here bent. If you have the courage to make a decision to stand anyway, it's going to be uncomfortable. But you give yourself permission to get yourself back in alignment with who you are. And when you do that, you give others permission to be in alignment with you, who you are, who they are. And you change the space. You change the vibration. People call me out, my phone blowing up all week. All this hazing film, man, you did a hazing movie, they bit off your movie and they did this and they did. I say, you know what? I don't even think about that because I did what I was supposed to do. Did you know a clip of your movie was in this PBS special? Did they get your permission? No, they didn't. And you know what? Hey, it'll all work itself out. More power to it. Because my job isn't to try to police everything that everybody else does. I'm glad you saw the value in it. Now people will look up mine. So that's the way it operates. You put it in there and you have the courage to stand in spite. I got one here and then one here. Then take it back. Yeah.
I guess for me, something that I deal with is that sometimes I struggle a lot with confidence. And so I would say a few years back, I had to self-isolate so that I can build my character and build my confidence. And once I built my confidence, I had that circle of people who looked at my confidence as arrogance.
Yes.
And so my question is, how can you differentiate between confidence and arrogance? Because just like Brother Andrew said, a lot of times people can't deal with your swag. They tend to project their insecurities on you.
Yes.
And like she said, you take on that. And so you deal with this, am I being confident or am I being arrogant? So you tend to like to fit yourself small. So how can you differentiate and know, like, okay, I'm not being arrogant, I'm just a confident person? I know you see a lot of people who stand up confident and speak, and you got this one person, oh, she thinks she's all that in a bag of chips.
Yes.
So how can you say, no, she's just confident? So I know that's something that I struggle with, was
Yes.
I didn't know the difference. And so because I didn't know the difference, or I didn't want to come off as arrogant, I always tend to make myself small.
That's it. That's it. How's that feel? How's that working out for you, being small?
I didn't like it. I was like,
Okay.
I'm losing me again. All
Okay.
that hard work.
Oh,
Yeah,
give thanks.
that's why I had to piggyback off him.
Yes.
Like, I'm losing me again.
Yes.
And it was a constant battle with people that was close to me.
Yes.
You know, like, oh, you better than us, or you that's arrogant. That's an arrogant thought. And I'm like, no, I'm just confident.
Yes.
And so it was a struggle. Like, I found myself angry because I'm like, no, I'm not that person. I'm not that person. But it was also a point where I didn't want to accomplish, I didn't want to celebrate my accomplishments. I didn't want to boast, or I wouldn't say boast, or to say, hey, you know, I came from this, but look at me now. I'm so much better.
Yes.
So that's my main question is, how can you let me know that I'm not arrogant? Like, can you tell me the difference?
Yes. Yeah, we can. Well, here's the thing, though. I'm gonna tell you two quick things, Shay, and then we'll go, because I got another question too back here, and this is great. That's fabulous. What comes to mind is something that I learned from Reverend Michael W. Beckwith, Bernard Beckwith. Mediocrity always attacks excellence.
That's mediocrity's job.
Mediocrity's mission, its job, its life mission is to attack excellence. If you're excellent, you're going to get attacked. Right? If you're walking around in a field full of the bent, when you stand, you are the target. And everybody who is afraid to bend will say, you so arrogant, you standing up, the rest of us down here, you think you better than us. I don't think I'm better than you. You got the same potential as I got. Oh, as a matter of fact, I'm not even going to explain that to you, because I do not owe anybody an explanation for being excellent. And the difference between arrogance and confidence is this. Are you trying to take advantage of somebody? Are you trying to harm somebody? Are you trying to use people to elevate yourself over much and never elevate them when you get where you're supposed to be? If the answer is no, if you say, no, that's not my intent, then you're just confident. And you owe it to everybody else out there who is walking bent to stand. You owe it to them to stand. Because the people who understand that they need that spark in you, they need that energy in you, they need that energy, they need to be inspired. And the best way to inspire them is by standing up and recognizing that anytime you do excellent work, it will be attacked by the mediocre. Ask any professional athlete or entertainer that has attained excellence, and somebody who cannot dribble a basketball to the wastebasket to throw away the copy on the sports copy that they're submitting to their editor will talk about, they will spin their words and their fingers trying to tear down the character of that person. Why? Because they can't even make the wastebasket with a piece of paper, much less build an empire from their talent. So because of that, they will spend their bully pulpit trying to tear down other people who are doing excellent work. But again, you know the tree by the fruit it bears. The excellent produce excellence, and the other people, mediocrity, they produce mediocrity. Thing about mediocrity is mediocrity loves a huddle. Mediocrity will get a huddle in a minute. Excellent, isn't that funny? Like, because like energy attracts like energy. Excellent people see something good happen to people. Hey, I see you, Reed. You doing the doggone thing. You're doing it. I see you over there, Deanna. Great job. Sylvia, your products done took off, baby. I see you shining. Go on and shine. We just go do. That's what excellence does. It recognizes you from across the room. Mediocre got a huddle. They got to get together in a circle. They think they better than us. Look at them over there. They always trying to show that good thing they got. They think they better than us. See, they need to huddle because they're in the same low vibration. So ignore them. Tune them out. Come and go to that land. And remember that you're here on purpose, who you're supposed to be, and you're supposed to change the game. And I guarantee you, when you start doing the things the wrong way, eventually people realize there's something to this. That's why there's appropriation of things in the world. It's things that are appropriated from different cultures, from different communities, things that are appropriated have one thing in common. They were harshly criticized when they were birthed into the world. When jazz emerged, it was criticized. How dare people take these classical instruments and turn them into something with blues? It's horrible. Till it got popular. Then everybody started playing it. So you're on the cusp of doing the greatest things of your life. Don't ever forget that. And then that's the benefit of community. That's why we do this on Thursday. That's why we're here on Sundays, because you have to have a reminder that you are here for a purpose. And you have to be around people who say, I see you. Instead of other communities where even when people are celebrating, that's one of the things. I'm so great. I'm going to pause in this moment of gratitude. I'm grateful for this community, for the work that we've done in the community that will never be broadcast. Thank you for the people that we fed. Thank you for the people whose homes we restored when that tornado came. Thank you for the people whose parents we supported when they lost folk. Thank you for the food that we cooked and put on doorsteps. Thank you for the diapers that we gave to newborns without saying a word. We didn't make a production of it. We didn't come and say, look at us giving this raggedy car to this person because they're struggling. We had everybody broadcasting in so we can make that person who has suffered walk down an aisle in front of 10,000 people and have to go through the humiliation of having somebody show how good they're being to people. This is why we're here, because communities like this will show you what is good, because we're going to see you. Remind yourself to be around people that see you, and close off the windows. When you enter into a ritual, y'all will see this when we do the sweat lodge, or when we do a sacred ceremony outside. I give you an ancient wisdom ritual that was taught to me in my initiation in my 9th degree. It's the temple. It's the temple. You have a body temple, but you have an entry point to your temple. You have there's 7 directions that we point to. You have 7 entry points. 1 mouth, 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, 2 ears. Those are the entry points to your temple. And your temple is what they call in the Iwa tradition, or the Ifa tradition, your ori. Because it holds your psyche, it holds your energy. So you have to be aware of what you allow to come into your eye vision. You got to allow yourself to be aware of the things that you inhale in your spirit. You got to be careful of what you put into your body through your mouth. And most importantly, you got to be aware of what you let into your ears. Because when you open the door and let just anything in the temple, that's when you have what Prince called thieves in the temple. The mediocre have come to rob from the excellent. And I ain't going to let nobody steal anything from that today. That's where we go. Trey, and then we're going to go back. We got 2 more, and then we come back. Yes.
I don't think we're from the rotation.
Online questions. Let's get an online, then we go to trade, then we go back to Rihanna. Come back. All right. Let's go. Y'all got me all spirit moving all through me today. Oh man, I'll take it. Chuck is in here. Chuck is giving it. How do you differentiate between someone's seemingly negative opinions of you versus your own potential delusions or denial? Woo! How do you differentiate between someone's seemingly negative opinions of you versus your own potential delusions or denial? Andrew said it's simple. You don't. Negative opinions of you and your own delusion of denial. It's the product, Chuck. It's key to know. She wrote a book on it. It goes back to the proof. If you are an artist and you have created art that is moving people, first and foremost, let me say this to artists here. Thank you, Rihanna. If you created a piece of art that moved you, done. That's it. Your job was to create art that moved you. Y'all, if you're at home or you're here, you write this, Johnny Hartman. Write down Johnny Hartman. Johnny Hartman, one of the greatest singers ever born. Johnny Hartman did an album with Duke Ellington, did an album with John Coltrane. Johnny Hartman had a voice that if he were alive today and where I would have handed him this microphone here, Johnny Hartman would sing a baritone and it would break the windows in this space. Rich, strong baritone. Sang jazz, created all of these remakes of these standards that were beautiful. In this world of ordinary people, extraordinary people, I'm glad there is you. In this world of overrated pleasure, underrated treasure, I'm glad there is you. I mean, I used to imitate him. That joker had to rap. Well, what happened? Johnny Hartman came on the scene and was discovered during a time where they had a one window. And if you understand about American music and history, when it came down to colored people music, there was a window and they let one in. At the time, Billy Eckstine came through. And Billy Eckstine was the guy that they let in. And so Billy Eckstine was popular. Then, almost at the exact same time, Nat King Cole came on the scene and built Capitol Records. So everybody else was second and third and fourth tier. Nobody discovered. Then there was a movie made in the 90s, I believe, a little movie called The Bridges of Madison County. And Clint Eastwood put Johnny Hartman's movie in it, music in it. And everybody started saying, oh my God, Johnny Hartman became the biggest thing. You can find his music all over the place. And you cannot listen to a Johnny Hartman song and not be moved now. So for generations now it's amplified. But consider that when he was doing the music, there was nobody else around vibrating because the system was not allowing him in. It wasn't his time. It doesn't mean that the music didn't come about. It didn't mean that it didn't take off. But like the artist, when the artist creates, the artist first and foremost creates to get the art out. Then it begins to resonate, either instantly or long term. But the art is there and it's in the world. So when you produce it and the proof is there, you're not delusional. Delusional is people who talk about what they gonna do and never do it. So Chuck, self-delusion is about the proof. If you're not producing, if you say, well, one day I'm gonna be a writer, I'm gonna be the greatest writer ever. I'm gonna write films and I'm gonna write scriptures and I'm gonna write, oh great man, how often do you write in your journal? Well man, I know I need to get a journal. Okay, you're not a writer then. That's delusional. That's delusional. I can tell you anybody that says I'm an aspiring writer, they got stuff written in journals, pieces of notebook paper, receipts in the car, clips in their pocket from something that came to them, and I got something on 3 clips. I got these clips 6 months old down here on a Post-it note. Little stuff there when it came to me because writers write. produce the fruit, and that's the difference. Okay, good. We got one more from the chat, and then we'll come back over here to Trey, and then we come here and we'll wrap it. Great, Sister Tashana. To your point about what other characters say about you, how does the idea that what others think of me is none of my business apply to that point? I should care or I shouldn't. No, I should only care about people who I give value to. And the people I give value to are the people who give value back to me. No, I know this is hard. It sounds so simple, but it is hard because there's something about human nature that make people want to like you. You want people to like you. And if you focus on that, you're never going to get enough. This is why people can't get just $1 million, be okay. They got tons of fans. They can sell out the Ryman. They're like, no. I got to have more. I got to have more. And when you reach the point where you got to have more and it not become aspirational, but it becomes a place where you are taking advantage of people and you say, I will do whatever I can to get more people. Then you know it has shifted. It has changed. But you operate from a space of gratitude, even if you ain't got nothing but a great sounding voice in the bathroom. That's where it starts. I'm perfecting my bathroom singing so that when I go other places, I will shine. So yes, what other people think of me is none of my business. Thank you for that reminder, Tashana. It's not. People say all that. I had people, and now people have learned who are close to me, they learn to just not do it. Or people who are close to people who are close to me. I'll say that because I've created that hedge. That space of, man, so-and-so was talking about you the other day.
Okay.
And used to be, when you're young and you're trying to get that affirmation, you say, really? What did they say about? Then you get a little more confidence, but that little piece is still inside you. So you say, oh, really? Okay. What they say? Then you get a little more confidence, and then you try to act nonchalant with it. You say, oh, really? Okay. What they say? You're still fishing. Now people talking about you. Awesome. See you later. Keep going. I just say awesome. Awesome. Because also, just like with anything, whether it's scriptural, religious, or spiritual, 3 words I tell people. Consider the source.
Yes. Always.
When Mr. Petty Boots comes to me and says, some people have been talking about you, I guarantee you the only person that having conversation with Mr. Petty Boots is Mrs. Petty Boots. And Petty Boots Jr., Patina Boots, and everybody else in that family. I'm just telling you. You don't even have to be shocked and surprised anymore. How many times do you have to? And Shady Boots, too. Shady Boots is the cousin of Petty Boots. We're letting our internal conversations bleed. So yes, so you have to. In this space, again, this is about the swag. This is that energy of shining with abundant gratitude. When you're shining with abundant gratitude, you're not seeking the affirmation from other people. When you're not seeking the affirmation from other people, the universe is then freed up to shower you with affirmation where you need it. The scheming, people, oh yeah, maybe you don't wear the right clothes and you don't wear the right kind of sign line. That's cool. I don't think about any of that. One of the reasons in my early church experience I left, because people were like, Reverend Carr got up here, got on them old African clothes and them beads and stuff, and that ain't Christian. That ain't right. He come in here to this space and, he come in here. He been gone for 3 weeks. He need to come stand before the church and apologize. Some of the deacons said that. That's why I had to leave. I had to tell the pastor, well, Pastor, I'm gone. I'm just letting you know. Because I'm still young, and there's a response lying in me. And I love y'all, but this is before I was really deep in the law of attraction. I was into every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction, and I was ready to give it. Or it was unopposite. But the thing that kept me from going there, which I told the pastor at the time, he said, well, man, I'm sorry that they come. I said, no, it's no problem. The reason why it's not affecting me is very clear. I'm not going to apologize for being gone for 3 weeks because I decided to get on the road and drive 13 hours to go get my daughter so she could spend time with her grandparents while she could, because that's important for her. I'm not going to apologize for not coming for 3 weeks because these 6 boys that you put me in charge of had activities all weekend, and we had to go to school to keep them out of games while these people who are criticizing me are nowhere to be found in those schools. So I know what I'm doing. So I don't have time to listen. Now, some people caught that back in the day, but I had to learn how to move that into an internal monologue. Because again, you throw a rock up in the air, only the person that gets hit is gonna holler. I don't care what y'all say, you ain't talking about me. Reach a point where you're confident in what you're doing and you won't respond to little things, because the mediocre always throw the rocks. But when you're excellent, it misses you. Because mediocre people don't even go to the gym, so they ain't strong enough to throw a rock more than 10 feet anyway. Trey, it is Rihanna, then we're gonna wrap it because we're gonna grow.
Thank you. I guess I would just wanted to go on off of what you guys were speaking about. Can you recall for me the first point? Is it what the writer
says about the character?
Right. So what the writer says about the character, one thing that stood out to me in regards to that is, as you have spoken, this is a drama. Reality is like a movie, and every movie has to be written. And I guess it's decided upon the writer whether you want something to be well written or, not written well. And the only person who can decide whether that's a well written movie is the person who's acting in that movie. And that's the person who awakes. As it says, as I rise, I give thanks. So I seen it as in a sense of the spirit is the one writing the movie, of course, because they are the beginning, the Alpha, the Omega, the first and the last. But how much are we willing to become one with that spirit? In a sense of, like you said, people have problems with communication relationships, but how much do they communicate with the spirit? There you go. So you have commune meaning union, one, communication. How much do you communicate with the spirit of yourself? So most problems that we are interacting with is other people, what others think about me, how are they going to react? But yet you have not even overcome by yourself what the Spirit is trying to tell you.
Yes.
So once once you're inside the temple, your own temple, as Reverend explained, only you and the Spirit knows what's going on, and you can decide what you really want for yourself in that temple, because that is your sanctuary.
Yes.
Once you leave that temple, or once you go outside to the outer forces, it doesn't really matter what others think about your sanctuary, your temple, because you've already set up your own divine laws. You've already set up your own lifestyle. You've already written the script. So it doesn't really matter what other people think. And the reason why I personally can recall from this is because I've been called by a lot of people as a pushover, or just giving my energy to people so much, or I've been on both sides, arrogant, standing in front of people. It just doesn't benefit well. But the reality is that if we really don't know who we are, it makes no sense for us to know what's on the outside. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, of course, this is how I feel, but most people try to live the life of other people's script. And it's almost like waiting for, being the one who wants the role. And they hand you the script, but you can't play the script because you didn't write the script. Mm-hmm. So the script ain't for you. Mm-hmm. So if it ain't for you, then guess what? Drop the script and write your own.
Come on, man.
So
come on.
The way to have proof, is by producing. You have to produce. You have to write your own script in order for you to follow to reach your destiny, or walk into your purpose. But once you start reading, walking, and living everybody else's script, you're not going to be able to feel the contentment, the success, the happy, because they're doing their own thing, while you're too busy focusing on other people's movie. So it was just a realization, and I'm not saying I walk in this essence, but I'm just saying it's a realization that in reality, everybody wakes up and presses play on their own movie. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the answers to help us is, like you said, waking up for a week, 30 days, a year, eternity, and saying, as I rise, as I wake, I give thanks. Meaning, as I write my life, I will give thanks. Right? As I, so.
Oh, y'all teaching up in there.
So we're moving, in the sense we're moving too fast, right? Too fast, right? We're thinking too fast. We're thinking outside, what we want to do, but we just, in a sense, sit in silence or even close our eyes or just stare into the sky, for 5 to 10 minutes and really ask the questions that people don't want to ask. Even the uncomfortable questions you feel like you don't need to ask. You should ask those questions, because those are the real questions that you need the answers to. Those are the questions that you try to ask people that you trust that don't give you the right answers, but you still need the answers in order for you to be able to clarify your script. So in a sense, just let us all try our best to know what script we are writing, right? So that way we can have a successful and happily ever after movie, you know what I mean? Being the VIP characters or actors or however you want to paint that.
Yes. All right. Trey, awesome, man. Great comment. I'll snap for that, man. Y'all pass that back to Rihanna. She's going to give us our final comment for today. And I will say this. Y'all don't know. Let me say this, because you don't know. You really don't know exactly what, and guys, keep an eye on me because I left the podium. Thank you. I love y'all. You don't know what's for you. And anything that's temporary, even in the film business and in theater. I was out of town doing a gig. I think it was the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, and I had an audition had an opportunity to be in this big production. It was like some musical space. They needed somebody who could sing and all that. And I was like, oh, that's a great opportunity. And I auditioned for this role that was open. And they absolutely loved. I knew I killed it. I went in and killed it because the people just dropped the pens that were writing. Directors sit at the table and they just, whoa, and everybody was like blown away. I got the I'm sorry call. And it's like, I'm sorry, we decided to go in another direction. And I was in my feelings. I was in my feelings because I was like, I know I was standing outside with the people who were also called to audition, and I was listening to them. And I get great teachers, but they were breathing every other word. I knew I nailed it. And so I was feeling as if something was wrong with me, and that something was wrong. And I was like, oh man, this is, I was in my feelings. I just stood to the side. I just said, forget this. I started going to that angry space. And then a few weeks later, I got a call from a director. He said, listen, I want you to be a lead in this play out on the Pacific Northwest. And I was like, oh, wow. I couldn't have done it if I'd have taken that supporting role anyway. It was a bigger role. True story. Months later, I came back to the city where I'd auditioned for that other role. And the guy who was the producer and director, he's like, I'm so glad I ran into you. He said, man, I really wanted you for that production. And I said, no, obviously you didn't, I was happy, but I was still a little salty. I said, obviously you didn't. And that's when I learned about how casting works. Sometimes it's just not a good fit. He looked at me, he said, no, I'm gonna tell you, you blew everybody away. He's like, not only was your voice just awesome, your presence was so strong and your look was so good. And I said, yeah. He said, the role you were playing would be the antagonist to the lead. He's shorter than you. We got him because he was a well-known person. He's shorter than you. Nobody in the show who ever came into production would ever believe that he would have scored a victory over you. Your energy would have overpowered him, and the story was supposed to be about him. I was like, oh, okay. So that affirmation, a double affirmation that came from Spirit. All right, Ree, let's go.
Oh my gosh, I'm just like sitting in the synchronicity of everything. Even this shirt I'm wearing. Yeah, so I'm wearing this Lorraine Hotel Motel shirt. And the question that really sparked me was your question of like, how do you move forward knowing that someone could kill you on the other side of that. And as an organizer and activist, I thought about this a lot. Right, like, is it best to do even if other people have a problem with you to death, you know? And I've been trying to learn in this cycle of death, right? Like, we have this God's been really talking to me about fear of death. And not just like the physical, but of who we thought our character was.
Oh my gosh.
Of like, this is what God told me that I was supposed to be.
Yes.
And it didn't look like what I thought that character was supposed to be. And so just like relearning what my true character is has been such a shedding, such an ego death moment of like releasing that. And the scripture that God has really just been trying to like, you know, I've been going back to, you know, old religion, trying to reincorporate those things. But the Bible says, though they slay me, I will trust.
Yes, so I trust.
And, you know, how do you gain the courage? I think that's one of the things that's really like sticking with me, right? Is like developing the courage to step out of an old character into a new narrative or new script, right? And that fear of like, are people going, you know, mess with the new me, you know? But I think that this has just been such a comprehensive. I'm still trying to like process everything in my brain, but like literally, I've just been spoken into all weekend around like the resurrection of dreams.
Come on, Ray.
I'm trying not to cry.
Don't fight it. That's the spirit moving in you. That's it.
Cause like, you know, there are things that I just never thought, you know, when you're younger, people really are like, this is what I'm gonna be. And people are just like, that doesn't exist. That's not a thing. And like, God has just been like, really been like, it is a thing. It's a thing because you're it. You know, and we're like, what? Okay. Plot twist, you know, so I'm just like, just very grateful right now. And like, God is like, you know, the things that overflow you with gratitude, protect it. Like, if you're coming for it, I'm ready to protect it. If they're kind of, you know, like getting the courage to protect the things that you're grateful for.
Yes.
Of like, you know, like, I can't worry about what people are coming for me. All I can ask is that I get removed out of their way. They're there. I know they're there. But how do I get the courage to say, no, I see you, but if you want to come over here, be ready for a fight.
Yes.
Because there's some hedges, some protections that I've called down that are not going to penetrate with what you're bringing, you know? So I want to encourage you, you know what I'm saying? Call your protections down.
Yes.
Because they're coming.
Yes.
If it's good, they're coming.
Yes. Yes.
They're seeking it. They want it.
Yes.
And I'm really just like, yeah, I'm just grateful, and I love you so much.
I love you too, Sid. And you nailed it. And I got a brief answer, but then Keita's gonna give it because Keita's spirit's moved, and she's one of our master manifestors around here. So that y'all know at home, this is what you're gonna get with new members orientation too. You're gonna get that in there, and that's part of that space. I'm gonna tell you something. When you in the country and you in the woods, and you flip on the light, the critters are coming too.
Right.
That's it. You can flip on the light so that other people can find you, but it's going to attract the critters too. That's just part of flipping the light on. So you were who you were supposed to be at that time, but you also had a right to evolve and to grow. Keita, what you got?
Okay, I was trying to be quiet, y'all, but my head's about to bust.
Said
So
I
I
wasn't
have to
gonna
go
tell
and say it.
nobody.
And this is kind of addressing almost everything everybody's been saying. one, first of all, we got to know who we are and whose we are. That's been coming to me all this week. We have got to be true to ourselves at the end of the day. And what we want. Because Spirit put that source and that light in us to be used. So don't play small for anybody. And we've got to let that light shine. One, because that light is there for a reason. There are gifts in all of us that Spirit put in us that we need to activate, because it's some stuff coming. It's some children looking up to us. And it's some gifts in us that are needed that we don't have right now.
Yes.
And if you don't do what you've been called to do, it's not going to happen.
Come on now.
So you've got to be you.
Yes.
No matter what. And know Source got your back. I don't care what somebody else say. Be true to you at the end of the day. And see what doors are going to open up for you. And not only for you, for the other people around you that's been supporting you.
Yes.
And it's going to start a wave and a flow.
Yes.
So you can't worry about what nobody else think. At the end of the day, you got to focus on you and what Source put in you and what's trying to happen. And you can't block that.
You can't block
It's going to happen one way or the other. If you don't activate it, it's going to get put in somebody else that's going to take that move and take that jump.
Come on now.
And then everybody's going to see the proof.
Yes.
We've got to do our action and do our part. And if we play small, we're not putting in our action.
That's
and we
it.
won't be able to see the proof. But
Come on through.
just shine, y'all.
Shine. Y'all give it up, Peter. We ain't got to say no more. You know, I look at time and space on it, so we usually keep it real tight, but you know, we went over today. We usually shorter than this, my brother. But we guarantee you there's a lot in this. So there's a lot to unpack. So, you know, share this. We got it live and it's on the replay. Share it with folks. Let people know. Get into this space today, y'all. This is about you embracing that space. It's about you understanding that, like Keita said, only you can do what you're supposed to do. That's why people are so confused. Because they weren't supposed to do what you're supposed to do. They can't see it. So, but they don't know why you be making them soaps and healing folks and stuff. It's a different light. You can't. It's a different frequency. Back to being there. I think about Ramsey Lewis, and I think about his albums, and it's funny because it was maybe the day before he passed. And I thought about that. I said it was the day before he passed. We were in the Great Escape. And we were only in the Great Escape because we were ordering some food at Sir Pizza. And I was trying to get inside the mind because I was like, man, Maurice White, I read his book. It's amazing. I talk about it all the time. But he talked about his journey with Ramsey Lewis and the excellent standard he said. And I was like, man, what would Ramsey Lewis be like? So let me tell you how things connect. So things connect. We go order some pizza. We got to kill some time. Just so happens Great Escape is just open. It's open on certain days. It was open. We go in. We going through looking through the albums. It's in the lobby. We go through and I was like, oh, Ramsey Lewis. And then there's a conversation album, vinyl, with Ramsey Lewis. I was like, wow, right? I got that. That's what universe attracted me. And then the next day he passed away. Right? So I got to see that those things were in alignment. But one of the things that was interesting is if there had not been a Ramsey Lewis in that space to take a chance on a Maurice White, and Maurice White needed somebody to take a chance because he was hearing so many weird things in music that he couldn't communicate with standard musicians. They thought he was nuts. They were like, no, you can't do 12/8 and then jump into 4/4 and then bring these horns in. They said, but Ramsey Lewis understood that. And then at some point, he grew so bad that Ramsey was like, that ain't my lane, but something's in you. So he grew to a point where he started what we know as Earth, Wind, and Fire. And do y'all know that when he reached a point where he was able to get a major album deal, the band folks was like, we don't want to study all that spirit stuff. We don't want to do all of that Egyptian stuff and yoga and meditation, all this stuff you talking about. It was 9 people in the band. 7 of them quit. And it was just him and his brother Verdine. What we know as Earth, Wind, and Fire was 7 new folks who got the concept. So even as you are in that space, you said it, shedding. Everybody can't go on the journey, and that's okay. Because I'm so glad that when you got this spark in you, when you got this swag in you, that you have this understanding of who you are, that you are going to attract what you are. You're going to attract the people, places, and things that are going to deliver you to the space that you were born to be in, where you made the agreement to come through your mama's womb into this earth and to leave it different from when you found it. What a gift. What a gift and what a gift. Got some swag. Everybody stand to your feet. We can close this. Let's tune in within. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Spirit, we give thanks today for this recognition that we are centered in the love of knowing who we are. We are grateful today. We are alive today. We are winning today. We are in this space of good today. We know that this energy is going to flow from us with a conscious space going here forward. And I speak that everyone under the sound of my voice, everyone who will be tagged in this replay, everyone who will be shared and retweeted in this space will find that understanding and that affirmation and recognition that we are here to be a light in this world, that we are here to grow in this world, and we are here in this world to walk in a space where we are shining with abundant gratitude. This swag leads us through every crossroads. This swag leads us through every doubt. This swag surrounds us with people who love us, who pour into us as we love and pour into them. We speak alignment and attainment today, and we give thanks for the lessons that were shared. We give thanks for the confidence of this growing space and community, and we give thanks and proclaim all the good that is here for us now. We speak and embrace it, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Hotep. Shalom. Namaste. Ashe. All right. If you're comfortable, grab somebody's hand if you're comfortable. If not, it's okay. Grab the hand of somebody you came with. Got hand sanitizer out in the area. Which way I go, Denise? This way. To the left. As we close today, we speak that as you leave this place, you recognize that the abundant energy that is flowing from you ain't just for you to have for yourself, but it's for you to share with somebody. So as you meditate on this space, as you share and you walk in this world, you recognize that we are all part of a family. And as we join one to one and as we lift our voices together, we sing and recognize the good that awaits us in this high frequency of peace, love, and joy that we accept in the present, right here and right now. Let us sing together our closing song. We'll put it on the screen. If today's a brighter day and we are on our way, then we can begin to heal ourselves again. Oh, we remember yesterday, and yet today's the day. God's reminding me to look at you and see family. All right. If today's a brighter day and we are on our way, then we can begin to heal ourselves again. Oh, we remember yesterday, and yet today's the day. God's reminding me to look at you and see family. God's reminding me, God's reminding me to look at you and see family. God's reminding me, God's reminding me to look at you and see family. We speak that the love of God, the power of the cosmos, the wisdom of the ancestors rest, rule, rock, and abide with us henceforth, now and forevermore. Let us all sing together in the words that unite us.
shame.
We love y'all. Make sure you scan that new members orientation. Go back and get that online. Enjoy some popcorn after service. For those of you at home, we love you. That's a fact you cannot change. I'm shouting you out. Next time, Yoga Sunday next week. And everywhere else, we're going to be together. I love y'all. Get in new members. We'll see you soon.